When you're ready, you can run and I'll start to speak. The extensor digitorum longus is located in the anterior compartment of the leg. It runs down the leg and is just lateral to the tibialis anterior here. It runs down the leg, crosses the ankle joint, and then splits into 4 separate tendons that go to the middle and distal phalanges of toes 2 through 5. Proximally, it attaches to the proximal 2/3 of the fibula and also attaches to the lateral tibial condyle. To engage and locate this muscle, we must first find the tibialis anterior by resisting the client from dorsiflexing and inverting the foot. We then strum across the tibialis anterior until its lateral border is felt right here. The extensor digitorum longus is then lateral to that right there. To engage and confirm that we are on the extensor digitorum longus, I ask the client to do one of its actions that will discern the extensor digitorum longus from the other muscles, and that is to extend toes 2 through 5, but not to extend the big toe. The client here is extending toes 2 through 5, but not extending the big toe. We give a little resistance to this action. We can then palpate and strum across the muscle as the client engages it against resistance. Then the client relaxes and engages again, and we strum across the muscle again, and we palpate the extensor digitorum longus distally in baby steps. As we approach the ankle joint, the extensor digitorum longus begins to narrow in and become tendon. This tendon is often visible and usually palpable at the ankle joint. Once we find it there, we can pinch it between 2 fingers so we can see the distal tendon, which then splits into 4 separate tendons that go to toes 2 through 5. These tendons on the dorsum of the foot are very often visible, and they're usually easily palpable, especially with resistance to extension of the toes. To now go back proximally and palpate the muscle belly from where we began before toward its proximal attachment, we again have the client extend toes 2 through 5 against resistance, and we strum perpendicularly and follow the muscle in baby steps proximally. At a certain point, it goes deep to the tibialis anterior and fibularis longus, but its contraction can still usually be felt deep to these muscles. It is important when palpating to use our eyes in addition to our fingers. Often when a muscle contracts, we can see a change in the contour superficially. So when we ask the client to contract the toes against us, look for this change in contour to make it easier to palpate it. There we can see the change in the contour and better palpate the extensor digitorum longus. There is another part of the extensor digitorum longus located here that anatomically is part of it, but is given another name. The extensor digitorum longus has tendons that go not only to toes 2 through 5, but it has another tendon right here that can be strummed by using a fingernail that goes instead to the 5th metatarsal of the foot. Because this other tendon does not go into a toe, it cannot be called extensor digitorum longus, so it is given another name, and it is called the fibularis tertius. The best way to engage the fibularis tertius portion is to ask the client to evert the foot and add resistance, perhaps with some dorsiflexion, and we can see the tendon becoming visible here and palpable. Another way to locate this tendon is to resist the client from extending toes 2 through 5, find the tendon that goes to the little toe, and then just drop off it laterally, strumming across the foot for another tendon. That other tendon will be the tendon of fibularis tertius. However, this tendon is often missing in people, so if you do not find it, it is okay.